In its partisan zeal to protect the ongoing witch hunt against President Trump, our Nixonian media went into hyperdrive last week to ensure that the unethical and un-American behavior of President Obama's FBI and Justice Department remained covered up from the public. After this cynical effort failed with the release of the Nunes memo Friday, the media quickly switched tactics and is now working feverishly to muddy the waters about the horror show revealed in the memo. To begin with, it is obvious that a hysterical talking point about declaring the release of the memo a constitutional crisis has been spread far and wide. Naturally, the constitutional crisis in question is not the wrongdoing committed by federal law enforcement. Instead, because we are now deep within the head of the media's fabricated reality where wrong is right and up is down, the constitutional crisis is that government wrongdoing was uncovered. One way the media are hoping to shield the federal government from accountability for its indefensible lies, cover-ups, and civil rights violations is to muddy the waters, to distract us with nonsense so that we lose focus on the sins committed by an FBI and Department of Justice, DOJ, that abused its power and public trust in unprecedented ways. Here are 16 things the media do not want you to know about the Nunes memo. The so-called Russian dossier, the creation of Fusion GPS and former British spy Christopher Steele, is a political document, namely, opposition research, created for the Democrat National Committee and Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign. Using what it knew was opposition research paid for by the Clinton campaign, in October of 2016, the FBI and DOJ obtained a FISA warrant from the Secret Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court to install a wiretap to spy on Hillary Clinton's opponent, the Trump campaign, specifically Carter Page. This spying would last for a year. It should be noted that the FISA court was set up to stop foreign terrorists. The fact that the FBI and DOJ would use this court to not only wiretap an American but to wiretap the presidential campaign belies belief. Why Obama's FBI and DOJ used this court as opposed to a normal court is obvious. As you will see below, a normal court probably would have denied the wiretap. Worse still, in the summer of 2016, Obama's DOJ had already opened a counterintelligence investigation into the Trump campaign. The fact that nothing from that months-old partisan investigation was used to obtain the Page wiretap is revealing. According to the Nunes memo, an essential part of the FISA wiretap application was the Steele dossier, which again is a partisan political document created for the Clinton campaign. So essential was this partisan dossier, Andrew McCabe, the disgraced former deputy director of the FBI, admitted in December that no surveillance warrant would have been sought without the dossier. Not only did the FBI knowingly use a document from a partisan campaign to obtain a FISA warrant to spy on the competing campaign, the FBI knew the dossier was mostly salacious and unverified. We know this because disgraced former FBI Director James Comey told us so in June of 2017. According to the Nunes memo, Steele told former FBI official Bruce Orr, he was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. Orr, who was part of the FBI's anti-Trump Russian investigation, was not only friendly with Steele. Orr's own wife worked with Steele at Fusion GPS doing opposition research, the dossier, against Trump for the Clinton campaign. Despite A, knowing the dossier was opposition research paid for by the Clinton campaign, B, knowing the dossier was salacious and unverified, C, knowing Steele was desperate to destroy Trump, D, the breathtaking conflict of interest in having an investigator's own wife working on the dossier, the FBI still went to the FISA court to obtain permission to spy on Hillary Clinton's opponent. In order to obtain a warrant to spy on the Trump campaign, all of the conflicts of interest above were withheld from the FISA court, an indefensible, and possibly illegal, lie of omission. Even worse, in order to legitimize a warrant request based on a piece of partisan opposition research they knew was salacious and unverified, the FBI and DOJ used a media report to bolster the findings in the phony dossier. The FBI and DOJ told the court that the media report was independent verification of the dossier. But this was not true, and, according to the Nunes memo, the FBI and DOJ knew this was not true. The truth is that the phony dossier was the source of this media report. Also hidden from the FISA court was the fact that the FBI obtained Steele as a source but had to fire him in October of 2016 when, in a bid to use his phony dossier to derail the Trump campaign, he leaked his information to the far-left Mother Jones. Although the FBI and DOJ were willing participants in pushing a salacious and unverified narrative against a presidential candidate, primarily through media leaks, this was all hidden from congressional investigators. To begin with, for months, while under oath, Comey said he did not know where the dossier came from, meaning from the Clinton campaign. The Wall Street Journal explains. We also know the FBI wasn't straight with Congress, as it hid most of these facts from investigators in a briefing on the dossier in January 2017. The FBI did not tell Congress about Mr. Steele's connection to the Clinton campaign, and the House had to issue subpoenas for Fusion Bank records to discover the truth. Nor did the FBI tell investigators that it continued receiving information from Mr. Steele and Fusion even after it had terminated him. The memo says the Bureau's intermediary was Justice Department official Bruce Orr, whose wife, incredibly, worked for Fusion. All of this dishonesty occurred under Comey, the man our media now hold up as a living saint, a man so desperate to destroy Trump. He not only oversaw those committing the above abuses, he leaked classified information to the news media in order to see a special prosecutor appointed against Trump, which his pal, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, immediately did. And finally, 16. Much of the salacious and unverified material in the dossier came from the Russians. In other words, those disgusting dossier lies about Trump's personal behavior came from Russian operatives. So there is no question that it was the Clinton campaign, Democrats, Steele, the FBI, and DOJ who colluded with the Russians to rig a presidential election. Yes, there was collusion with the Russians, and those in our government currently investigating Trump in the hopes of overturning a presidential election are the colluders.
Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe our channel for more news videos daily and for what's viral today. Also turn on post notifications and don't miss nothing. A thumbs up really makes me blessed.